But how did you get him? How did you get that not guilty verdict, though? There was a murder.
Right.
There was a murder. How did you, and his DNA was there, and he's a felon. How did you extrapolate doubt for the jury to get that not guilty verdict?
So it's a very interesting case. The judge didn't let me put on that theory of the LAPD third-party culpability theory, just so you know. But I called 2 gang experts. I called a firearm expert. I hired a DNA expert. But what I was able to convey to the jury was this was a sloppy investigation. They found the gun perfectly located, sitting against the wall, and that firearm was inoperable. And I had my firearm expert explain, stovepiping, and the crime lab admitted she had to cycle the weapon 14 times before it could fire. So my argument was, ladies and gentlemen, how is this the murder weapon? Right. Ladies and gentlemen, the DNA expert testified, but she cannot tell you if the source of the DNA is a male or a female. And then I put on 2 gang experts. I'll give Alex Alonso a shout out. Street Gang Television. Alex Alonso is the best gang expert that we have access to. Basically, is a genius, and he testified for me. So when we put on the community side of the criminal street gang phenomenon, I was able to counter what the police said, because everything with them is doom and gloom, fear and respect. But we were able to show another side of it, and the jury was not convinced beyond a reasonable doubt. And that was a great case.
Yeah. And so you got this guy off. That's an incredible case. Now, how much, by the way, how much did you make off that case? Or what did you actually charge the defendant? Because you got to hire all these experts, your time. What does that cost a defendant to fight a murder case?
Sure.
When they're with Rosenberg.
So this was in 2018.
Yeah.
And my fees have gone up since then, as I have.
Biden's economy.
Well, I've gotten better as a lawyer, and I've put up a bunch of wins on the scoreboard. But what you want to know is, how hard is it to hire a lawyer like Rosenberg, and what's the price point? So my price point is less than Garagos, right? He charged, I think he charged $1 million for a preliminary hearing, right? And they paid.
Yeah. Who's they?
I don't want to say the ethnicity, but they were able to afford the money.
What was the charge? Is it drug trafficking?
I don't know. I don't remember that. But what I'm saying is, I'm not a Garagos, right? But I'm also not just out of law school. This is my first rodeo, and you're paying me money to learn. So I'm kind of in the mid-range. What's interesting about the case is that, the mom worked in the medical field. She's middle class, so she doesn't have $200K to pay Rosenberg. But having said that, I was on that case for a long time, and you mentioned experts. So I don't pay for experts. When my client is in custody, he's presumed to be indigent, meaning he cannot afford $4,000 for a video expert. So I have a case that says the county must pay.
Oh, wow. So you can actually, you can do that? So you can get the county to pay for the experts, but you are still private getting your fee.
Correct. And that case is called Tran, T-R-A-N. And that was Leslie Abramson's case. It was a death penalty murder in Orange County. She charged the family $300,000. And then she had the gall to ask for $19,000 for a psychiatrist. So it went up through Orange County, and the reviewing court said, no, it doesn't matter if third parties are paying for the defendant's private lawyer. The issue is the defendant's indigent status.
Right. Oh, wow. So this is great for you and the defense and the defendant, because they know the money they pay you is not going to be siphoned off to your buddies. There's not going to be a lot of corruption there, because everybody else, all the experts are getting paid by the government, and all the money that you're getting goes to you, and you're going to be more motivated. You're going to do better. When you do better, they do better. So how much did you make off of this case, Rosenberg?
I'd rather keep that Business and Professions Code 6149, which
Okay.
says that a retainer is confidential. But let me just say one more thing, because people are interested in hiring criminal attorneys. You never want the attorney responsible for the investigator or an expert. And here's why. Then it's in the attorney's interest to minimize the investigation because they're eating into the lawyer's fee. So you always want to have the lawyer incentivized to do more work, not do less work. And that's why, and the case law on this, you know, comes from the Sixth Amendment right to counsel and due process. So it's very important. Remember, the government wants to lock Rosenberg's client up for 50 years to life. So it's not that much of a stretch if the county will pay Alex Alonso, you know, a couple $1,000 to come in and testify and keep it real.